Hello, everybody. It's the Move Push Men's Group. This is CJ, and July 31st for me, the 30th probably for my American friends, and this is our weekly call. We had a rather spirited call last week, so this time I'll turn on my video. Here we go. And I'm on a working vacation in Hua Hin, Thailand, really enjoying it. And we were just talking before about various maintenance at such properties throughout Asia. And I don't know if we need to continue with that. So let's throw it open to whatever you guys want to talk about. We were, see, last week we talked about
Boundaries.
boundaries. I know I wrote down Henry Cloud PhD Boundaries book.
Yep.
That must be why I did it. I couldn't remember what that note was about. So
Yeah, and it was
I,
great.
I need to take better notes. But anyway, yeah,
I
setting boundaries in your life. Maybe we pick up on that a little bit before we move on. Go ahead, Frankie.
well, I just want to say I think for me it was important because anytime anyone wants something, they always go to the busiest guy because they know that it'll get done.
Mm,
And for me, I didn't know how to say no. So I was always saying, okay, okay, more. You want a pancake breakfast? Okay, no problem. I can do that. You want to do that? Yes, I can do that. Fall festival coming up. Okay, I can help with that. I'm not going to plan it. I'm not going to administrate to it. That's as of the meeting last Thursday. Friday, there was a meeting for fall festival, that there was a meeting tomorrow night. And I said, I'll help out, but I'm not organizing it. They're like, no, 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 we already have an organizer. I'm like, great. I will lend a hand because with many hands make light work.
mm,
And so the woman said, yeah, Frankie, that's great. So now I'm starting to understand. So I had another call come in to me asking me for help. And I said, I can't do it right now. I'm sorry. I have just too much going on. I can't put something else into my schedule when I'm trying to decompress my own schedule from what I've been going through. And if I would tell you guys how crazy it is, because in the morning I leave in the morning to go to Rosary, and then I get home, and normally during the week we'll have to run down and pick up keys and then go do cars for a few hours. Monday nights I have men's group. Tuesday night I have adoration. Uh, Wednesday night is the parish council. So I'm like, Thursday night is the Knights of Columbus for 2 Thursdays of my month. So that's kind of why I'm here back to back Thursdays, which I like.
mm,
Uh, and I like this group, and I really like to be able to come and just hang and talk and listen. And this is important when guys can socialize and interact with each other and talk about commonalities of what we're going through, because it's not you know things we've done wrong. It's things that we can improve on our lives. I mean, we're friends, and we can make each other's lives better if we just would just help out and grow our relationships. And I'm not saying these aren't growing. I think I love our relationship that I have with all of you guys.
mm.
I look forward to Kevin. I don't know you very well, or PJ. I don't know you very well. I know of you. But yeah, so I just think boundaries were very, very good start for me, because now I don't feel so bad. It was a shocker for me to have to say no at first,
Mm,
because that's very unlike me. But it hasn't come out where I was like, no, where I came out blatantly no. But I'm getting around that corner, because as we creep into September, more and more activities are popping up. So people are like grabbing at straws, and I'm just not going to partake in that this year, because I did it for the last 15 years of being here in Phoenix. And it's just time for me to take care of Frankie.
all right. Frankie's setting
Cool.
those boundaries. All right, who's next? I thought somebody else was jumping in. Well, thanks for sharing, Frankie. That's
Yeah.
and plus your reasoning and interest in this group. That's a pretty good description. I was trying to explain to my friend John last night about this group, and I wasn't quite capturing it, but I think your explanation was better than what I was trying to say last night. So I think
Well, I
I'll
just want to
send
say
him the recording of this.
don't ask for a fee, please. No subscription. Don't jump on the bandwagon, please.
It's funny you mentioned that. Someone who I thought would be a good addition to this group was part of another group, but they have a monthly fee to be in their group. I'm like, I don't think so. So,
Not well, yeah, man. If
yeah.
we're guys, man, we're all different ages, so
Hmm.
there's or we're above our 50s, I would say,
Hmm.
uh, safely. Maybe above 60, safely.
I think we're
Uh,
mostly about 50 here, so
Above
that's
50,
safe to
okay.
say. I would like to get some younger men in here and see what their experiences are and help them along too, but hasn't
Plant the
happened
seed,
yet. We'll see.
mustard seed.
Yeah.
I liked, Frankie, I liked the fact that you shared in the chat of your success of saying no. It was great.
Oh, it was very much a success. But you know, the leading up to saying no was internally hard. Like it put a lot of strain on my body because I'm normally the guy who says, yes, I'll do it. And now I was confronted with that where I felt really uncomfortable. And I was in that void of, or that, um, where you feel uncomfortable, vulnerable, that
Hmm.
vulnerability. Yeah. And by saying no, it was like I just like my spine got straighter.
Mm.
Nice.
Yeah,
That's
it
a
was.
good
And
analogy. Yeah.
I didn't even gloat, like I didn't even walk away gloating about it. I was just like, wow, that was easier than I thought. And sometimes things are like that, that if we don't try something, we don't never know the outcome of it.
I
Mm.
think they're usually easier than you think. We all build it up in our brain much
Yeah,
than the reality.
I agree.
Hmm.
Yeah, we're our worst enemy, man. We get in our own way. We can't do anything right.
Yeah, I've been reading a lot about self-image and perception, things like that. I've always avoided that kind of thing because I thought it was, woohoo nonsense, but it's more to the psychology than I thought, and we'll see if it'll help on the business side. But yeah, there's nothing wrong with exploring that.
Nothing wrong with having a positive mental attitude, that's
Hmm.
for sure.
Yeah, and being confident what it can produce. So
Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah, it would work for me. Yeah, I just not so much saying no, but I would give my manager a decision and say, yeah, I can do that, but you do realize that's going to take my priority from something you told me yesterday was my first priority. You know
Hmm.
what I mean? And force him to make the decision. So
Hmm.
not quite no, but at least, acknowledgement. So
Yeah. Well, you stood up for the time you were going to spend doing one or both tasks, so
yeah,
that's important.
one takes from the other. So.
Hmm. All right, good stuff. Anybody else want to pop up on setting boundaries, or maybe you're struggling to do so? I mean, that's reasonable. Okay. Well, it's another thing that's come up that I've seen lately. This one's a bit heavy, so we might move it over towards the non-recorded portion, but throw it out there for now. You guys can at least think about it. I've come across some people who have minimal or no relationships with their older parents. Some of you may be on the other end of this, but I wanted to throw this out there. I'm really fortunate that I've always had good relationships with my parents and step parents for that matter. And So I don't really, you know, emotionally understand it necessarily, but I know it's out there that some people have little to no relationship with their parents. It just seems like it would be a priority to fix that kind of thing. I'm not particularly religious, but I remember the Bible says honor your parents. It doesn't say honor your parents if they agree with you on spiritual matters or financial matters or ethical matters. It just says honor. So there's that. And then if you're on the other end, your kids are, um, you know, out in the wind and you barely hear from them. I'd throw this open to brainstorm to see what you can do to bring them back. Um, I got kind of lucky as a father in that my daughter actually cared about my opinion and her mother's, so she was mostly easy to discipline and have a relationship with. But man, if raising kids who didn't have that attitude seems like impossible. But anyway, so that's my next topic. If anybody wants to jump on this, let me know what you think. Or maybe I hit a dud with this.
No, maybe not. I just say that I had a great opportunity, and my brothers gave me the best gift of my life to be my dad's caregiver for the last 14 years of his life. And if, if your parents are still alive, uh, love your mom and dad as much as possible. You may have had some hard times, but talk about it. That was then. This is now. In life, life makes you. You make life. Life doesn't make you. And that we make mistakes in life, but it's not the mistakes we've made, but the mistakes that we correct.
Mhm. Yeah, well
Yeah.
said.
And anything you have with you, if you have see me, my dad threw down hard when I was in high school. I mean, threw down, I mean, where he macerated me. I mean, beat the crap out of me. And I was throwing back punches at equally at him. I was mad. I was rebellious in high school. Just thought my shit didn't stink.
Mhm.
And for maybe the first year, we never even looked at each other. And I lived in the house. And then over time, we got to being he was my fishing buddy, and he would
Mhm.
always take me fishing. And there was something, I don't know what it was. It was my stupidity. But anyway, over the years, we got close. And then when I had my stroke, I had a double stroke from an aortic aneurysm in 2008. And the end of that year, my mom died. So I was still
Jeez.
recovering from my stroke and caregiving for myself because I went from being in the hospital for 90 days to a local Holiday Inn for 2 months. So it was March to May, and I got out in May. We were my mom and dad's by the end of July, and I stayed with them and I learned how to walk on the Mississippi, the banks of the Mississippi River. I would hold on to my niece's shoulders and I would walk down, holding on, and then I would turn around, I would hold her shoulders and walk up, and I would then time myself going down and coming up and see how long it would take me. And do you know that every time I went down, I got faster and faster. So to bring this back to my dad and parents and loving your parents is that I had a great opportunity because when I was living by myself in Elk Grove Village, Illinois, in the Midwest, and my pops, after my mom died, he needed to go somewhere, so he started coming and living with me for 3 days. Well, after 6 months that he was staying soon from Wednesday to Sunday. And he would go back and do paperwork and check his mail and that stuff. But he would come back. And then we said, you know what, we should figure out where to live. And that's when we moved to Arizona. And my dad went with me every day because I got a job as a notary here in Phoenix. He went with me everywhere. We went to Avondale. I had like a 65-mile circumference that I would drive around.
Mm.
And he would go with me every time. And Dad, I'm just going down the block. That's all right. I'll go with you. It's just, and you really get to know your dad and you learn so much more about him. And I can't tell you how many times I apologize for my stupidity. And you know what he said to me every time? He says, "Hey, I forgot about it. That the night it happened, he said, I forgot about it." Like a dad would say, right?
Yeah,
Like
that's the
a
kind of thing
dad
a
would
dad would
say.
say.
Yeah,
Yeah.
here he is right here, his old pops. I'll give you, you know him, CJ.
Yeah,
But
I got to when I met Frankie,
you
they
got to meet, you got to
got to
meet
see that
Master.
relationship.
Here he is right here.
Yeah, he's a good
Nice.
guy.
He loved smiling. He loved making people
Mm.
happy. I should make this the backdrop. No.
Yeah. All
So
right. Well,
that's my 2 cents. And I think loving your parents and if you have any relationship disagreements, it's over. It's done with. It's already gone. And there has to be conversion. We gotta let's get back to what we know, our upbringing. The way we were raised, and
mm,
let's not forget about the lores that we were raised with. I mean, my brother Billy reminds us time and time, and my brother Philip, things that I've forgotten because of my stroke. There's things that I simply don't remember.
mhm,
And I, I can when we laugh as family, when we get together, like I can put myself in that position because I can understand that, yes, that was the way Uncle Jim was and that was the way Aunt Patty was. I could see that, but I don't ever remember you telling me I was at that spot. I don't have recall to it, but I can recall being in that environment because we as a family would get together all the time, all the time. I mean, my God, it was probably twice a month we would have family get-togethers.
okay.
So anyway,
Well, thanks for sharing on that subject. Anyone else want to pipe up?
anyone else's parents living?
Yeah, I
Mm,
got parents living.
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah. My mom lives in Israel.
Okay.
Wow.
So yeah. But
You talk.
she usually comes to California at least once a year and for like 2, 3 months, like two
Hmm.
months at a time. So when she is here, I really get to see her and spend some time with her. So that's
Does
pretty
she
nice. And she
does
gets
she
to see the kids. That's
does
her
she
main
stay with
reason for
you?
coming, to see the kids.
Yeah.
No, 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 she couldn't because she keeps kosher. She keeps like a kosher kitchen and stuff. So
Ah,
she couldn't stay with us. Yeah, she raised me. She was raised and raised me as Catholic. She's an Irish Catholic, and then she had a conscience of religion, and she bounced around the various different religions for a few years, and then landed on Judaism and jumped in with both feet. So she
wow.
speaks Hebrew, reads Hebrew, yeah, lives in Israel. So
That's
yeah,
a true believer, man.
For her, yeah.
yeah, yeah. So, but she
There,
found her thing.
yeah,
That's and so I'm happy for her. She's happy. So
there's the conversion right there.
Yeah,
yeah,
they don't
so
get many converts. I don't think even think that faith is evangelistic at all. So,
and
hmm.
it's been years because I remember, God, so what was the Gulf War first one? 91, right? She was there. That was her first trip to Israel on a sabbatical from work, and she was there for like 6 months, but she got stuck there because the first Gulf War with
Mm,
the Scud missiles and all that, Patriot missiles and all that stuff. So yeah, back that was like Bush one, I think, right? Way
yeah.
back. So uh but yeah, so it's been a long time, but she's happy, so I'm happy for her. So and it's nice when she comes here. Like I said, it's like 2 months at a time and get to spend some time. She gets to see the kids, and so
Mm,
works well.
interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. Okay, so you weren't raised that way necessarily.
No, I was raised
Uh, you're raised
Catholic. I
Catholic.
mean, I was confirmed in the Catholic Church.
Mm,
Um, I raised my kids in the Catholic Church.
mm,
And that was I'm not heavy into Catholicism, but I was raised that way, and I did enjoy the time with the family every Sunday
Hmm.
and the routine, almost not the routine, but you know what I mean, like the it was like an anchor
Hmm.
with the family. So I did enjoy that. Yeah. So
Tradition, maybe.
yeah, some tradition. Yeah. So yeah, absolutely. So I used to love like the Easter solemn mass when they would finally sing Hallelujah,
Hmm.
things like that. So yeah, yeah, some tradition. But yeah, so
Mm.
that's my mom. My dad, so my dad is my stepdad. He lives in assisted living not too far from here. He used to be very close, but unfortunately we couldn't afford it anymore. So he lives a little bit further away. Um, but he's pretty happy. He'll be 86 in November, diagnosed with dementia, but doing pretty well on the meds, the cocktail, the meds they have him on. Um, he has a lot of good days. He has a few days where I talk to him on the phone, I can tell if he's a little confused, but most days are pretty good. So yeah,
Do you
I
talk to
get,
him every day?
not every day, no. But every a couple times a week, and I get him to all his doctor's appointments and stuff at the VA.
Awesome.
So yeah, so
Okay. So y'all have pretty good relationships, sounds like. All right. I'm glad to hear it.
I
Mm.
I yeah, my I lost my parents when I was quite young, about
Mm.
23 when my dad died, and about 7 years later I lost my mum. That's
Mm.
mm,
way back in 78, 79.
sorry about that.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, that's
I've come to terms with it. But um, as far as my daughter's concerned, she got married and moved to Australia, and I never hear from her.
mm,
And
that's tough.
I find that really quite tough. And she's quite hard to talk to. And it's interesting because her husband is rings his mum every Sunday, and it's
Really?
Mm.
and yet, my daughter, we never hear from her unless she wants something. I guess it's good that we hear from her then. At
Yeah.
least
Yeah.
at least we hear from her then.
Does she pick up if you call her?
Oh yeah, I imagine so, yeah.
Okay.
Um, but it's because if you don't talk often, there doesn't seem to be anything to talk about,
Mm.
Right.
because you just don't know enough of what's going on in their lives.
Yeah, I've got a little sort of a situation like that with my daughter but I set up, but she likes like schedules and routines. So we have a day and a time that we talk. And that's my suggestion. If I don't know if your daughter would be open to that, but that would be something at least you could both look forward to, and
Set a
once a
schedule.
week, every other week, once a month, whatever it takes to get it started. But
Mm.
Book it
um,
in your diary.
yeah, but I'm a little worried. My girl's got her first boyfriend, and if right now she's very happy all the time. So, but if she gets married and I may be dealing with what you're dealing with, and I don't know if I could handle that very well. uh, but yeah, so far so good. But I'm sorry to hear that with your girl. Maybe it's just a scheduling thing. Kids take parents for granted. I know I did when I was a kid, so didn't really know that we have some needs to be connected to them. And
Mm.
I think it's reasonable for you to bring that up, and just say, I really like to talk to you, whatever frequency would work, and see how she responds.
Yeah, well, she's coming over for a week next month, so
All right.
maybe I'll try and approach it then in person rather than online.
Good idea. You can't get away.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was interesting because there was some, like fairly major events, like there was a building at her school that burnt down, and I sent her information about that, and the response I get back is, "Oh yeah, I already know that."
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
So,
no thanks for sending it or letting me know. And there's been a couple of fairly major incidents like that I just think, oh well, what's the point? She already knows, so
Mm.
doesn't seem to appreciate that I'm trying to let her know something.
Greg, do you
Mm.
ever have that like mano conversation where you're sitting down at a table and you're like, look, I just want to talk to you, and
Mm.
this doesn't work. This you there, me here, this infrequent frequency that we have going on, or whatever. I mean, have you had the opportunity of that or
No,
no?
I haven't done that. Um, she has a character um, personality thing that makes things quite hard too, in that she has to always be right.
Oh boy, okay.
Mm.
I mean, she's an academic and she's, done physics and, high level maths and stuff like that. And she's just got to be right about everything. And it's really hard to discuss things or argue with her,
She comes up
you
with a
know.
solution for everything.
Yeah, yeah, she's just, knows everything and got to be right about everything. And so it's just kind of come to the point where we all just back off and leave it to it, because it's just
What's
it's
the point
just
of
too
arguing?
hard.
Right, I
Yeah,
got you.
just
But by you backing off, would she not call you, or would she call you and be like, "Hey, Pop, why you what's going on?"
no, I haven't heard from her for months and months.
Really?
Mm.
God,
Yeah,
so sorry.
yeah, we used to be quite close when she was young.
Oh.
I know they go away, when they're teenagers and they go away from their dads, but at this stage she's supposed to be coming back.
Yeah, right. I got
Yeah.
How old
But you
is
said
she?
she's going to be around next week?
Next month.
Oh, next month.
Yeah, sometime in August. Her and her husband are coming over for a week.
How old is she?
No, mid 20s,
Uh,
26 maybe. Born 2000,
right.
26. Yeah, she'll be turning 27.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, that's going to be the time, I think, if not sooner, to bring up how you feel. And
Mm.
if you're willing to share, I think we'd be really curious to see how that works out for you next month.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely say
Mm.
face to face is the best way to go.
Mm.
No, not face to face with her maybe, but shoulder to shoulder.
Yeah, I was
Shoulder to
I think we
shoulder.
talked
There
about
you
that.
go. Good one. That's it. Yeah, I remember that. There you go.
Yeah,
Shoulder sit at go for a ride in the
yeah,
car.
drive somewhere
Yeah,
and talk to her
yeah.
then.
Or hike on the trail. Yeah.
Mm. All right. Yeah, good one, Kev. All right. Well, that's really the only new topic I had. We so it's kind of scrolling through some of the previous ones. I checked off a few I thought we'd at least discussed, but in the past we talked about the male indifference um, scene or tendency or movement, whatever. And I thought that was very interesting from the Mind and Masculinity channel on YouTube, and I posted that video a few weeks ago.
Mhm.
And then we talked about working on yourself first, and I don't know if there's anything more to add to that. We talked about that in the context of exercise as well, even though I haven't done much exercise on this trip. I've done a little bit, but um, so there's that. Um, Oliver posted something in the group, but he's not here. I want him to be here for that. We'll get to that maybe next week if he joins us. Um, and Craig brought up living in private, straw man, and we wondered. a little bit into politics, but it seemed to be relevant to that topic. So some of the topics we talked about in the past, anybody have anything to add to those or anything new? I mean, we don't always have to be topical. This group can just kind of hang out and somebody has something they want to bounce off of us. So, we're here for that.
I've got a bit of news from Mike, Mike
Okay.
Fisher. He's in the Maldives at the moment, or Maldives,
Hmm.
having a great time, and he asked me to just mention to you guys that he's thinking about us.
Ah, cool.
So,
Nice, thank you, Michael.
Doing some scuba diving,
Hmm.
no, surfing.
surfing. Surf.
He's gone with his son on a surfing trip.
Very
Good for
cool.
him.
Yeah. So he uses a kayak or a surf kayak type thing. Surf kayak, yeah. So I think you call them kayaks. Um, I think he said his son was taking two or three different boards.
Mm.
So yeah.
That's a cool hobby.
Yeah, well he lives right on a surf beach. So
Mm.
um lovely beach.
Plus a father-son trip. That's always
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
great.
When I lived in Hawaii, I decided, oh, this is perfect. I lived right by Waikiki, and then I bought a condo right on a beach with big waves. I said, oh, I'm going to learn to surf. And you paddle, 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 paddle out through all the surf. Then you finally get there. You go to try to catch a wave, then you don't catch it. Turn around, then you paddle, 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 paddle out again.
Mm.
And you miss another wave. Then you paddle, 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 paddle. I said, fuck this. I need something with a motor. And
Yeah,
I bought a Hobie cat.
Nice.
you missed something there, Paul. You paddle, paddle, paddle out. You sort of catch the wave. You lose your surfboard. You got to swim all the way in to get it, and then
I,
paddle, 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 paddle out again.
Uh,
I don't think I ever got far enough to get a surfboard, actually.
I've actually had that experience in
But I used
Arizona.
to,
Yeah, we had a place called Big Surf, and you could learn to it would it was this giant pool that manufactured waves. So we would try to catch waves on that, and it was the same experience. I don't think we had to paddle out as far as you're talking about, but I just remember that routine. Oh man, for each time you miss, you got to do it again. So it's good exercise if nothing else, but
Yeah,
uh, it's tedious. You got to be patient. Not a characteristic I
yeah, it's
really
pretty
had of that in
exhilarating when you catch a wave, though.
my late teens, early 20s. That did not describe me. So
Yeah, in the
Why?
days I was doing it, the surfboards were quite big, so
Mhm.
you didn't have such things as leg straps because it'd pull your leg off if you had one.
Yeah.
In
That-
Waikiki, don't you have to get out past all that coral first? Is there like a crap ton of coral before you get out to the waves?
not
Oh,
where I was. We had
Oh, okay.
sandy beaches,
mm,
but it was,
Gotcha.
the waves were steady and constant, like Frankie's background there.
Yeah, nice. Soothing,
right hand,
relaxing. Put a hammock
so
up
nice.
and I'm done.
That's the one thing I haven't found here is a place with, Pacific waves coming in. My beach in Makaha was just the most amazing, steady pounding of the waves on the beach. It was almost impossible to go to bed and try to read a book. I mean, within minutes, I would be sound asleep.
Mm.
Mm. Yeah, that would be pleasant. All right. Okay. Well, thank you for that. Craig and Paul. Anyone else? Uh, our group isn't quite flowing like it did last week. It's not a criticism, just an observation.
Uh,
Okay.
there's going to be ebbs and
Observation
flows.
taken.
And yeah. What's that, Frankie?
We
I said observation taken.
Oh, okay. Noted.
No, we'll try and pick it up. Energy's low tonight for me, so sorry guys. Um,
You're one
just
of our
Yeah,
best
but there'll always
contributors, man.
be
just a
there'll
busy
always
day.
be ebbs and flows.
Yeah, Craig's
Yep,
right.
it's just a busy day.
I think at our age we could probably take some criticism too.
Yeah, I do have one topic that maybe I could slip by. And maybe we'll do this for the unrecorded portion, but generally speaking, is it possible? I thought of this when Craig was talking about his daughter having to be right. Is it possible to win an argument with a woman?
Hmm.
That
Wow,
would get laid.
that's easy, you know. If you want to have a loving, peaceful relationship, you just have to learn to say, "Yes, you're right, dear." Whatever you want.
Yes, dear. Yes, dear.
Yeah. I've also at least seen on some social media that women tend to be more drawn to men who have boundaries. And we talked about boundaries recently, so um, which would seem to fly in the face of the happy wife, happy life thing, which I always thought was kind of gynocentric. But anyway, I think we could talk
Yes,
about women in general and not be too um,
Hypercritical.
yeah, yeah, too critical.
most of
So,
the stuff that I was reading after my breakup, it was all coming across of, they just don't, the guys that give in all the time, they lose interest. It's not
mm,
emotionally stimulating for them, and then
right.
they need emotions. So then they're looking for the emotions from elsewhere, and that's where the bad boys come in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's no challenge there.
Roller coaster, which they find exciting.
Yeah, it's how they feel. That's the one thing it's hard for men to comprehend. Um, it matters how they feel. For us, it's
We
like
still haven't been
it's
able to figure
what's
it out.
right? What's the truth? You know, it's irrelevant on how I feel. What's the truth? But women don't function like
Exactly.
that.
They don't want to know that though.
Yeah, they don't care about that. Like we
There you
don't.
go, sticking it in my face again, telling me that, yeah, proving me wrong again. There you
Mm,
go.
mm,
You always got to be right.
mm.
Okay, well, when you're right, you're right.
But if she feels bad, then you're wrong. So,
Yeah, well, this is why I'm 60 and single.
well, I think we've all had our,
Relationship troubles,
yeah,
of
indeed.
course, of course. I'm not. I am. I am not complaining whatsoever.
Mm,
I am blessed beyond words, and you know that,
mm,
CJ. And
indeed.
uh, I'm just, yeah, grateful.
All right.
Well, I had kind of an interesting experience this week.
Oh, okay.
Got horrific food poisoning Monday,
Ugh.
Ooh,
and it's still ongoing. Now
oh,
I feel pretty good, but it went, started with uh, cramps in the runs and then progressed to, you know, the other end. And then,
Mm,
but then, and chills and fever and the whole thing. And then I realized, I said, nobody knows, if the doors are locked, there's nobody has, I have one friend with keys, but I mean, he wouldn't necessarily know. And there's really nobody here to call to say. Luckily, I had stocked up on food and everything. But I was thinking about I have to get somebody on call, that I could at least have come in and pay to run to the grocery store or and I need to get phone numbers from. I only have the phone number for one of the security guards on the daytime, but I need to get phone numbers from other security people or people who run errands, and of course I'm looking for a live-in anyhow. So that process goes on. But I
Mm.
said, shit, I could be dead in this apartment for weeks. They'd have to smell me before everybody would think to come in because I disappear for months at a time, normally anyhow.
Mhm.
There is as big a pain in the ass as it is to be in a relationship. There are certainly some benefits.
Mhm.
Mm.
There's at least somebody to find you when you don't wake up in the morning.
Yeah, I know I've had neighbors in the past where I've sort of kept an eye on them, and the that unwritten signal was, the curtain windows are opened every morning. If
Mhm.
the curtain windows aren't opened, then there's an issue.
Hmm.
Well, I have friends, and I have friends here, but they're all male friends, and it's just like I just didn't feel comfortable saying, "Oh, I'm sick. Would you run out and get groceries for me?"
Hmm.
And I didn't need the groceries yet, and I knew it was food poisoning. I said, 2 days and it'll be over. And I mean, I feel good now, but it's still ongoing. I still haven't, I'm eating and everything, but it's taken a lot longer than previous bouts of it. But it was the not feeling. I have one friend who his better friend got an infection in his toe. He was in the States and he was just coming back and didn't pay much attention to it and came back here and ignored it. And now he has no foot. It
I.
started, took off that toe and then the next toe. And so he was taking care of him all through that.
Mm.
He's that kind of guy. And I know that, he would, if I asked him to, he's the guy who has my keys. But I just didn't feel comfortable adding one more to the burden.
Mm.
And everybody else is just casual friends who I'm sure would have been happy to do something if I asked, but just being the guy, it was like, fuck no, if it gets really bad, if I'm laying on the floor, I'll pick up the phone and call somebody and say Eddie's got my keys, but just didn't seem right laying it on somebody else.
Yeah, that's yeah, something we should talk about next week. So I want to wrap this up. We're at about 40 minutes. But levels of friendship, what you're willing to ask someone to do. That's a good topic. We'll do that next time. But for now, I'm going to wrap this up, the recorded portion. So if you're watching on the recording, we'd rather see you live Thursday nights. What time do we do this?
7 in the
7
States.
p.m. Pacific, I think. Yeah, we'll see you then. Have a good week.